I'm going to give you a look at the work we do in Flanders, but I really want to emphasize you can start small and even then make a difference. And I say this because if you look at when we started working on hepatitis C, we go back to the end of the 90s, where we had the first conference on hepatitis C and drug use in 97, yes. And we started collecting data in 2000, something like that. And for me, an important date is here, 2008, where we first joined and cooperated with the colleague Stéphane Bourgeois, a hepatologist in a local hospital in Antwerp, where we did a small conference, but not a conference only for people who work in the field, but really for people who use drugs and live on the street. And we wanted to raise awareness and connect people with each other. And then I had an idea, because we are still in the interferon era, and we see that people who use drugs are not able to enter the cascade of care. They need extra support, and these people do not have social support around them. So I had an idea to start up with a buddy project. So we connected peers, peer supporters, people who did have the treatment and do use drugs or did use drugs, I don't care. A peer support project started in 2009, and this evolved to the Antwerp project in 2015, because we worked 2009, 2010, then it had to stop because lack of funding, but we still did a lot of things on hepatitis C. But in 2015, we could restart the hepatitis C buddy project, but it had evolved to the Antwerp model, where we have a very strong cooperation between the Free Clinic, which is a low-threshold drug service, Stéphane Bourgeois, who is a very dedicated hepatologist and who also is an advocate for working with people who use drugs. Then myself in the early days, needle exchange and the C buddies, who work together in different steps in the care cascade. I think we learn from each other, we support each other, we work together on the same goal. So what we need are very dedicated people who go all the way. It's like the virus. You have the virus or you don't have the virus, so you go all the way. We have a good communication, and important to emphasize this is that our peers also decide together with the hepatologist what is possible and what not possible. So the peers, our colleagues, are on the same level as I am, as Dr. Bourgeois is, as my colleague nurse is. So we don't only work on hepatitis C. We work via a holistic approach where we work on housing, general health conditions, financial things, justice shit, and all the things. So the holistic approach is very important in our Antwerp model. And to show you, we are a very small project. So you can do a lot with not many fundings, but you can do a lot with very high dedication. And as you see, we had a very high RNA prevalence at the Free Clinic, and with very lot of dedication, we see that in 2009 we had declined it to 35. I don't believe we can reach elimination in 2030, but I think we're on the way, because in this period we have treated the most motivated and maybe the most simple people with hepatitis C, and now the challenge is to reach out to people with very complex situations, very multi-problem people who we cannot reach without our peers. We have to do more outreach work, we have to connect with people, and sometimes it takes a few years to get them to test, and maybe another few years to get them to treatment. So we have to give a lot of support to work with the people we have to reach now. And I was very surprised to see the fishermen, le pêcheur. It's a very good image to work with. So this is the Antwerp situation. We also have a project in Limburg. They do case management. It's a different profile of people who use drugs. I think the Antwerp situation is quite similar to the Brussels situation, but in Limburg we have a more stable population. And there it works. Test, treat, cure. This works here in more rural areas, but I think if you go to the bigger cities, you have to invest more in support to get to the cure. Then I did a pilot in Sint-Niklaas where I built a care cascade in 25 days. But I cheated because I was a street worker early days, and I went back to my old population, connected them with the network we built. But you can do it. It's possible to build a care cascade with limited resources and go for it. So, where we are now in 2022, the C-Buddy and the Hepatitis C project of Limburg is part of the bigger contract we have with the Flemish government. And we have a contract until the end of 23, but I'm negotiating to prolong it, and I think I have a positive answer to go on next 2 years. So we have some small projects via pharma grants who are starting in West Flanders, East Flanders, and Vlaams-Brabant. So 23, hepatitis 23, we have extra fundings from the Flemish government to work on hepatitis C, and my plan is to create a lighthouse, which is convenient for all the fishermen because they can come back to the lighthouse. So we have the expansion of the agreement until 23. So we are going to expand the lighthouse, and the lighthouse, maybe you can see it as an expertise center where I, together with my colleague Griet Maartens, will support local initiatives, raise awareness, make plans together, because I strongly believe that there's no one fits all. What works in Antwerp, what works in Brussels, maybe doesn't work in Ghent. So we have to work with the local context, bottom up, create a local plan to work on hepatitis C. So in 2023, I will have nurses in 5 Flemish provinces to work on hepatitis C together with me and Griet, who will be the flying nurse who supports projects in the Flemish part of Belgium. And then we also participate in a European project who stole my idea to create a lighthouse, but it's okay because we get fundings for that. And we are going to work together with different cities, create lighthouses there and exchange experiences. And this is what we also have to do between the 2 language barriers we have. So, but we can talk in English and find each other and exchange experience. So this is to come, creating lighthouses, exchanging information, and then we'll see where we get. So the GIG is the health promotion in injecting drug use, combines the needle exchange together with hepatitis C, and we are going to support the local initiatives in building their own care cascade. And enhancing knowledge and awareness in the target population, capacity building trainings, building bridges between hepatologists and drug service so we can support the local system. Thank you.